points to the Aristocrat deck.
Yep.
There we go. So we've got it sorted now.
Yep.
So we will go through to the match, and we have Reva going into a Huntmaster after she Searing Speared an Aristocrat by the looks of things.
Looks like.
A Cartel by the looks of things, isn't it?
Yep.
So that's where we are currently. Hers is more Naya mid-range, rather than the Blitz.
Yeah. So something with a bit more staying power against a bit of a wider proportion.
It's not necessarily going to fizzle out. That's a Blood Artist in play, and the Aristocrats look like they've gotten stuck on 2 lands by the looks of things. The Ravager flips, killing Blood Artist. That's the board position we have it.
Yep. So
we have a Pilgrim, a Ravager, and a Wolf token. And Luke sitting very lonely on 2 mana after a Resto comes in.
And blinks the Huntmaster.
Blinks a Huntmaster.
Huge amount of value right there. If she's going to beat the deck that she thought she couldn't, this is how to do it.
Yep, this is how you do it. So we have another Wolf token, and it's her turn again, and this is going to be swinging for a big chunk of Luke's life at this point.
So this will put him to 4.
Yeah.
And we can already see that she's playing Searing Spear. There's one in the graveyard there. It's possible she may even be able to finish him off.
Yeah,
she's attacking with everything but the
might
mana
as well attack with everything. So that's 3, 5, 7, 9 damage. Puts him down to 5. Doesn't play anything, flips the Ravager, doing 2.
Yep.
That spear is looking mighty friendly at this particular point in time.
Yep.
And this looks like it's going to be game 1 to Reva. And her Naya midrange Eddie scoops.
That was a lightning quick
that was fast. That was... I think that's what she... that couldn't have gone much better, I don't think.
So she's already put herself as a favourite in the match here.
Yep.
She only has to win 1 out of the remaining 2 games.
Certainly does.
So
we look at the sideboards. We'll start with Reva's. She's got Pithing Needle, Rest in Peace, Skullcrack, Selesnya Charm, Boris Charms, Nevermore, Witchbane Orb, Zealous Conscripts, 2 Acidic Slimes, a Sigarda and a Garruk.
So I'm thinking probably the Sigarda,
Yep.
the Witchbane Orbs, possibly the Boris Charms, and possibly the Garruk here.
Yeah.
And perhaps the Zealous Conscripts as well, depending on how many things she wants to take out.
Depends on what she's not really seen too much of the deck to know massively what she's up against, unless she scouted him beforehand. Luke's sideboard, he has Obsidats.
3 of them.
3 Obsidats.
Yep.
That's a lot of Obsidats.
It's a lot of Obsidats for the sideboard.
Yeah.
I think he's a perfectly fine main deck card.
Oh yeah, certainly. He's got a Cavern, which probably won't hit the field since it's against Naya. Thundermaw, Hellkite.
I don't think so. I think Luke's the control here rather than the beatdown.
Electrickery, not massively useful in this instant.
It is some mana else, but it's not like she's playing Lingering Souls.
No. Sorin
Olivia
Lord
Voldaren's quite tasty here.
Sorin Lord of Innistrad.
Yeah, seems pretty good.
I see him going. Slaughter Games, maybe to take out some of these, but it's not a massively...
She's not really got a key card to
No. And then Mark of Mutiny.
Mark of Mutiny is interesting. It's not a card that we've seen a lot of inside.
No.
So we'll have to try and find out from Luke whether they're in there for a purpose or whether he's experimenting.
Who knows?
But I can certainly see them being interested in certain matchups.
Yeah. Well, it's that thing of taking something, hitting them with it, and then sacking it, because with Aristocrat you should have a sack engine realistically in play. So I can see where he's coming from with it. It's quite a nice thing to use in that regard.
Yeah. But usually we've seen there's one or twos of in the main board rather than the side deck.
Yeah. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. So they're just about finished shuffling up, ready for game 2. And Reva will be hoping to basically copy what she did last game, and Luke will be hoping to not.
If I was Reva, I'd be happy to do that every single game in the top 8.
If I would be happy to play like that game was for the rest of my life.
I don't know, it could get quite boring.
It'd get boring winning every game.
You could make a lot of money though.
You'd make a lot of money, but it'd get very boring. But we'll see how it goes. We need to see a miracle live again. Top deck in the bonfire like a pro. Poof.
Which led to the greatest GIF in Magic history.
Yes, it really did. Good times. Miracles were good for something at least then.
Yeah. Certainly good for Chinese Taiwan.
Yeah.
Looks like Luke's giving it a really good shuffle here.
Well, I think he has to, because last game it really sort of was a disaster for him, wasn't it?
Yeah. At least if he gets mana screwed now, he can't blame himself.
That's very true.
Probably why he's shuffling so thoroughly.
That GIF is so good you can see Kibler die a little inside. Poor Kibler.
It's the look between Kibler and LSV that made it.
Yeah. I think that just made it perfect. So perfect. So I think he should be about done shuffling up, and we will see if Luke can do a little bit better this time.
Yep, I'm sure Luke will be hoping he can.
I can't see him doing much worse. It was a really bad run for him there.
Yeah. You got to imagine he must have kept quite a tasty hand to have kept a 2.
Yeah. Any deck looks blitzy when your opponent doesn't get lands. That's very true.
That is true. It
Except
can get to turn 5 or 6 and it still feels like
the
turn 3.
massively controlling Esper decks that sit there and go, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. I'm supposed to punish you for this, right?
That's the thing, right? That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to play stuff and punish you for not playing these cards.
Okay, it's Battle of the Tap plans here. Nobody wants to pay 2 life to get going quicker.
Well,
Luke's matched his land output for the first game
and
already.
he is almost identical to what he did last time.
Yeah.
And
quite see
we
that
see a
card,
couple.
the
We are going
glare
to
on
see.
it.
This is scarily close to what we had last time.
It is.
If he just top decks and passes, this is going to get scary.
Has Luke done it again? That's the question.
I think he's got another land in hand.
I hope he has. He might not live it down if he doesn't.
No,
And he's got the third land.
He's a little bit more sensible this time.
So that's another Cartel Aristocrat
That's
thing?
yet another cartel. There's a third land coming down for Reva.
Not a card that's great when you don't have any backup to give it
No,
protection.
it's a lonely creature there at this point in
This
time.
might just be the line that his hand takes.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what she does. She fast seeks.
Okay, so it looks like she's playing a more controlling role this game.
Yeah.
Possibly not the hand I would have kept in this situation.
I think it's more suited to what her deck does. Like we saw last time, her magic number is 5 mana.
Yeah.
So next turn she can start playing stuff.
Yeah.
So it's definitely in
And
her
she knew
best
she had
interest,
the
I think.
saving space, so he couldn't really rush her.
Yeah. So I think it's a good start for her. She gets to the 5 mana, and it's all guns blazing from that point with her. Because we did like we saw last time, Sigarda coming through, punching people with a wolf run.
Yeah.
You know, this deck, we've seen that deck do it, turn 4.
So, kind of hard to keep track of whose deck's whose here. They're very similar.
They are very
shades.
similar colours. I think hers are slightly more matte based.
Yeah.
So the Aristocrat's going to swing in.
Yeah. Dealing first blood for this game.
Certainly does. And he has the land again, so he's perfectly fine for land this time. So there's no problems there.
And 3 mana for a Boris
Reckoner.
Reckoner. Leaving up Tragic Slip mana.
Are we going to see land and then something big? Or are we going to see her own Reckoner? No, we're going to see 5, and it's Sigarda!
Hello, Sigarda.
I called it. That's the second time I've called an angel hitting the field. But that's a big, big card there.
Yeah. That card can just, 4 turns from now, just win the game all by itself.
Yep. And that's without playing anything.
If the rest of her things can deal with what he's
Oh,
playing.
that's a hand and a half. 2 Reckoners, a Huntmaster of the Fells.
Yeah.
She has got a very good hand, especially since if she drops another land, she draws another land, that's double Reckoner this turn.
Yeah.
That's big.
Luke throws up the defences against Sigarda with the Lingering Souls.
Yep.
Leaves open his Boros Reckoner for strike mana. And Tragic Slip mana if necessary.
Yeah.
And he's deciding whether to attack.
Well,
Nope.
Sigarda's going to come through. Yeah.
Sigarda's
going to come through and is going to get chump blocked in a hurry. You'd like to think.
Perhaps.
I can't imagine why you'd let it go through for 5.
If he's got a lot of damage dealing cards in hand, he might just really want to deal with damage with those
He's
tokens.
taking the 5, I think.
I mean, he's on 20. Taking 5 is not going to take him too long.
True, that's true.
He's got the time to try and figure more out about the situation, maybe draw a few cards. And,
So do you think she's not got the land, she should play...
I mean, I think Luke's playing Blasphemous Act. For all we know, he's got a Blasphemous Act in hand, and he's operating on that.
Yeah. The Reckoner now goes, haha, I'll see your 13 damage and do 13 damage back.
Yes. So maybe he's not on Blasphemous Act anymore.
Slip does nothing, you're right.
Sorry?
Slip does nothing in this instance, because obviously Sigarda has hexproof.
Yep. But for example,
But
he could slip
it now
to
does
Boros
it with,
Reckoner.
it now works with the Reckoner.
Yep.
And that really sort of scuppers Luke's idea of doing the Blasphemous Act combo here, because obviously the Reckoner puts him into contention of dying just as much as his does to her.
Yeah, so it put her to 3 and him to 2.
And that's before any combat damage goes through.
Yeah.
So he might not. He's right. He's signalling he can play Slip, but he might not necessarily have it.
Yep. But there's no reason not to signal, even if you don't have it,
True.
because then they have to respect it.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that he was on the Act plan here. Everything he's done up to the point that other Boros Reckoner resolved, he was pretty confident in and seemed to support it.
Yeah.
And now he's slowed right down.
I think that was the idea. Bunch the creatures up. Go.
Yep.
Come on then.
Wrath, but also put her to 3.
Yeah.
Seems like a good
Is
position.
a good play.
And now it's scuppered.
And especially when he sees the second one potentially come down.
Well, I'll just put him dead to his own Act. Never mind, go to 2. So he's given his Cartel Aristocrat protection from presumably red. And
He's going to tragic slip it. Yep.
The Boros Reckoner. Oh, he's going to be so upset when he sees the second Reckoner.
Yeah, he really is. And he's 1 mana short of Blasphemous Acting this turn.
I think he's 2 mana short at the moment.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the field. It's
So
an 8
full
mana
cost.
card, and he's got 1 red.
8 mana?
I think it's 8 mana for Blasphemous. So. Oh, it's 9. You're
nine
right.
mana
Yeah,
for a
so he was
Blasphemous
2 mana short. So this is an interesting one because she's got the second one, and a Huntmaster comes down along with a Pilgrim. So we've now got, in theory, the Aristocrat can still swing through by sacking Spirit and making proc green.
Yep, and there's the Act. So this will wrath the board, deal her
And
13.
deal her
and
lethal
she's on
damage.
13.
So he managed to get through just about.
Just about. So if she decided to play the second Boros Reckoner, we'd probably still have a game here. But now
Well,
it goes
it
to
still would
one
have been
apiece.
lethal. Or potentially she could have swung with it or swung with the... Oh no, because I think it was still game to Luke. He just would have been a little bit closer than he would have liked.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see the Blasphemous Act combo hit through.
Yep.
So we're going to go to game 3.
And presumably she's going to be a bit more aware of that in game 3,
Yeah.
perhaps. Not sure if she's been hit by that today, but it's not the sort of thing you forget.
No. Certainly isn't. Possibly putting in the Witchbane Orb here.
Which does...
Makes her hexproof.
It does more than that. It means
It
that
just-
Luke's the only legal target for that 13 damage.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the damage goes through and the creatures all die, so then it has to hit him.
Yep.
So Witchbane Orb is really good for that instance. Aristocrats should win 80% of this match. Her deck doesn't have anything to stop his deck. Oh wait, land screw. It happens. It really just comes down to whether your deck plays well at the time. You could have a good matchup and you mess it up. You could have a bad matchup and pull a god hand.
So if I was Reva here,
Yeah.
I'd be mulligan into an aggressive hand.
Yeah,
Because I think it'd be my best shot of
you
winning
want to go off quick.
Yeah. Just try and hit him before he gets time to set anything up.
Yeah.
And if I was Luke, I'd be pretty happy with Boris Reckoner Blasphemous Act.
Yeah.
Seemed to work that game.
It works. It
He
works
was
perfectly.
able to control the other side of the board to
Yeah.
make it good for
He
himself.
worked it perfectly well. It was a really well set up plan. You got the creatures out to make it
Well,
cheaper to use.
His plan nearly got derailed, but he managed
Nearly.
to scrape it together.
Yeah, he managed to get around it. He did have the tragic slip to get
Yeah.
rid of the Reckoner. So it was all good.
And it looks like Reva's sideboarding a bit here.
Which you would expect, because she didn't really know what the game was first round, because it was
Yeah.
just a walkover. So now she has a better idea of what his deck does.
Yep.
She can much better set up what to do to get around it. So I think it's more beneficial for her, so she can tell what the strategy has to be.
She's had a look now.
Yeah.
She knows what to expect. And she knows how her deck can fight that.
It's, but as fitting of a top 8, it goes to the third game. You don't like to see blowouts in top 8s.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's deserving of the people involved that it goes to 3 games.
If the person who loses then gets the feeling that they've had a good shot,
Yeah.
rather than just getting blown out.
So it's they've both played well enough to deserve the third game going through,
Yeah.
rather than just getting really
I'm not
lucky
sure,
and blowing it
I'm
out.
not sure about Luke's keep game 1.
No, not quite. That was a little bit of a possible bad decision there.
Yeah. More towards the LSV end of the scale than the PV end.
But for the gift of hindsight, yeah,
And to be fair, he executed his game plan in game 2,
yeah,
and it worked.
it went off without a hitch. Realistically, it had the removal to deal
Yeah.
with and the Reckoner on the other side. So,
He made the decision not to block the Sagada, so he had that extra spirit,
yeah,
and it paid off.
it really did. So we're just drawing into the hands now. Reva is on the play this time.
Which is probably where she wants to be to give her the best chance.
Oh, certainly, she's got the best chance on the 55th on the draw.
So she probably wants a Mana Elf hand rather than a Farseek hand here. Which will drop a
So
Boris
she's
Reckoner
kept
or
out.
a
They're
Lock
both
Spin
kept.
like
So they're
that.
both keeping their opening hands.
And
And
it's,
again,
it's
bottom of the
tap land to go
taps.
for her.
And
So
we're
no turn 2 Reckoner or Smiter here, which would really put the pressure on.
we'll play a Pilgrim.
And possibly a top decked Pilgrim, or maybe she's just really valuing her life total. I mean, when she thinks, maybe I'm virtually on 7,
Yeah,
2 life seems a lot
it's
more.
a thing to possibly think about. And there's the slip on the Pilgrim.
Okay.
You are not ramping up.
No, but then there's one less slip to deal with the real creatures to come.
Very true, very true.
And there's a Cliff Top Retreat untapped.
So she is passing turn.
Okay, so she
No 3-drop.
looks like she's got 2 Searing Spears in hand, or possibly Mizium Mortars.
So we've got Lingering Souls coming in.
Yeah. So it's possible that her hand is
Hello,
to
she's
control.
got a miracle there. Bonfire!
That's a nice draw.
For the 3, so
Yeah.
2 damage to the spirits, killing them off dead, and 2 damage.
And then
She has 1 in her sideboard. She runs 1 Witchbane Orb in sideboard. And she plays a land and passes.
So yeah, looking at her hand, she's got at least 2 burn spells in there. It could be that she's decided she's not the beatdown this game.
No, she's just going to go with burn.
This top deck of Bonfire really supports that plan. So
Yeah.
she may be in with a shot here. It depends what Luke can set up.
It'll be an interesting one. Now, does he flash back in the Lingering this turn? He's not played a land. Has he got
not.
the 4th land? Yes, he's got the 4th land.
He's deciding which one it should be, and that's
Cavern naming Vampire, I imagine.
it looks like.
And it's a Falconwrath Aristocrat.
There's a certain
for
way you
4.
tap that 4 mana,
Tap in 4 mana.
and you know it's in a Falconwrath.
Lady Falconwrath herself, and that's probably going to get speared.
Yeah.
Oh no, mortared.
Yep.
Another land comes in, so she's now on the.
She's on the control
She's
part.
now on the control part of this deck.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that?
So even cards like Falconwrath and Cartel Aristocrats, they're bad if she can keep him off all his other creatures.
Yeah.
And she can keep removing them.
She's got the spear.
I think it's another Mizium Mortars in hand.
She got another Mizium Mortars.
I think she had 2 of the same burn spell, so that was the first one. And
So he's going to
back
flash
Lingering
Zam him
Souls.
again. Not good play. Who did you think didn't have a good play? Was it? Do you think Reva misplayed or Luke? Ryan Ori. So it's Reva's turn 5. She's on the magic number for her deck by the looks of things from what we've seen. A Cigada would be really nice here again.
A Restoration Angel.
Yeah, playing the Aristocrat onto an empty board might have been a little bit sort of.
There goes a far seek, so she's ramping up to 6 here.
Yeah.
But she's still got Restoration mana open. So,
Yeah.
Oh no, she
Oh, no,
hasn't.
she's
That's
got
coming
3.
in tapped.
She's got Reckon at a mana open,
She does. Not sure if that's in hand.
but it's certainly there, potentially.
And she's passing with 3 mana.
I think she's.
So next turn, she could potentially overload a Mizium Mortars.
Yeah.
So she'd be really happy if Luke started playing a bunch of stuff now. But that's another Falconwrath Aristocrat. So that's not going to be blown up by Mizium Mortars next turn.
No. So that's 6 mana down. She's down to 10. That's a much better play. Having the Aristocrat with stuff to protect it.
Yeah.
Very useful. Two would. You're right. 2 Falconwrath Aristocrats would be better in this instance because it's 2 Falconwrath Aristocrats. And she's going to play.
So she's killing the 2 spirits.
overloaded. So yeah. So making the Aristocrat indestructible this turn. And now there's a lonely Aristocrat.
Yeah.
Uh,
So depending on what Luke can
I
back that up
imagine
with,
not for much longer though.
And there we go. It's
A
no
Reckoner.
longer vulnerable to spot removal. Now, I'm not sure if Reckoner's better than Falconwrath Aristocrat here. Would he sacrifice it to make it indestructible?
It's a difficult one.
Yep. It also depends what spell she's aiming at it.
True. She's down to 6.
She is. So she's already way past her virtual 7 that she might
Yep.
have been operating on.
It's looking grim for Reva, but it's not impossible at this point. There's a Witchbane Orb.
Okay, so that's protection from the 13.
That's protection from 13, but she still needs to play a blocker.
Yeah.
She still hasn't got anything to stop. So she's got to have something in hand.
Yeah.
Because Luke's just going to swing. There's no reason not to. It gets him the game.
If she doesn't have anything in hand, there's no reason not to make him play it out. That's another
Another
Boris Reckoner
Reckoner.
for Luke. And swing in.
So yeah, he's got
this looks
something,
like a
and it is a resto.
restoration
Dun dun
ranger.
dun.
And that's game.
Oh,
Luke
beautiful
Southworth
play by Luke
advances
Southworth
to
there.
the semi-finals.
Well, that's the Aristocrats through.
So, after her lucky streak game one, it
Yeah,
looked like her
she got
prediction of the
lucky.
outcome of the match was a bit more accurate.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much summed it up really. She got a very good opening hand game one against an Aristocrat that struggled, and then game 2 and 3 pretty much went how we thought it would.
Yep.
Say that again.
Right, guys, there is currently one game left playing in the top 8, which is currently in game 2. If it goes to game 3, we will put it back up for the streaming of you guys. If not, we will just go straight to the semi-finals. We're going to go on a break until one of those things happens. So we might see you for some part of the top 8. If not, we shall see you in the semi-finals.